Okay, so here we are, part two of our history stuff, and you're going to see that there's a map here. Um, this map is really important. I want you to take a look here where it says the Ohio River. Everyone see the Ohio River? There's these British colonies along the coast. These are those 13 British colonies that I've been talking to you about. These are the ones in that light colored brown. Now, just beyond that, further inland, we have this Ohio River here. And above that, we have this Quebec area. This is the land that the English took from the French. We also have Nova Scotia, which is considered separate, but because the British took over Acadia, this is the Acadia area. Okay, so these are all British colonies, but these 13 British colonies are considered a unit of 13 British colonies. This Nova Scotia area is separate because it's kind of north and hard to get to, and Quebec is also considered separate. Okay, now this Ohio River and this Ohio Valley is First Nations territories, and these First Nations peoples are defending this fiercely. They do not want these British colonists to continue pushing inland further and further and further. And that's exactly what these British colonists are doing. These British colonists here, the 13 colonies here, they are land greedy, crazy land greedy. They just want to keep taking, keep taking, keep taking. There are boats arriving every day with more people coming, looking for new opportunity, looking for new land, looking to take over what they can get. And that means the Ohio River Valley. The land in this area is, once you cut down all the trees, the land in this area is really fertile. It's great for growing land. It's rich, rich soil, excellent growing season, lots of nice summer months. It's perfect, okay? And all of these British colonists, they want it. And right now, the First Nations are fighting for this, and there's all kinds of First Nations people in this area who are fighting. And what ends up happening is these British colonists, they go in, right? They're like, I'm going to set up my little farm here. I'm going to build my little house. And then the First Nations people come in and they attack. And they attack pretty brutally using their First Nations ways, right? They're going to go in there. They're going to slaughter all those settlers, right? They're going to kill the women. They're going to kill the children. They're going to kill the men because they don't want anyone in the Ohio Valley. And they're not just killing these people, they're scalping them. This is a tactic that the First Nations do. It's part of their culture, scalping. So what they do is they take their blade, right? And they grab the person by the hair and they're still alive. And they're like fighting there, oh, don't hurt me. And they take the knife and they like cut all along here and they pull back their hair and they like basically exposing their like brain and like bones up here, and they cut it off, and then the person's like bloody and bleeding, and they take this like hair that's got like the scalp attached, this like skin of the head, and they like tie it onto their belt, and that means they've successfully killed somebody, right? And that's a sign of being, a strong warrior. So these warriors are going in there and they're scalping all of these British colonists who are trying to like set up their homes, invading the territory, yes, but just trying to set up their homes, right? So the First Nations are brutally attacking them. So the British colonists are setting up forts, right? They're setting up forts deeper and deeper into the Ohio Valley, right? Fort Detroit. This is a fort that's deep in the Ohio Valley, and all these other, and so they want to be able to engage the First Nations in their like war tactics where all the men, the brave men, all line up in a big row and they all get their guns out and then they shoot. But the First Nations are like, we're not idiots. We're not going to line up for you to shoot us. We're going to hide in the trees and we're going to attack you when you're sleeping, because that's the best way to kill you, is like when you're not expecting it, right? So that's what the First Nations are trying to do here. And so these two people, they're butting heads and there's like fighting going on. And so the British colonists, they employ, well, we're going to say we believe that they employed this tactic. It's a common belief, but because the victors write the history books, we can't say 100% that this is what happened, right? Because they're not going to really own up to this. But we think this is what happened. What they would do, and I'm running out of time, I've only got 25 seconds left. What they would do is they invited these First Nations to come and have like a peace treaty, right? Like a peace meeting. And then when they were in the peace meeting, they would give them these boxes, these metal boxes. And they told the First Nations people that inside the metal box is magic. And you should not open the metal box until you get home. I'm out of time. I'll keep talking when I get back to the next.